We are back with another episode. Slinging Shots with Philip. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Make sure if you like this content we're doing to like and subscribe down underneath. We appreciate that. Leave us comments. We like to see what you're thinking, and if there's something we're missing or something we can do better, we want to hear about it. So today's episode is a special one. I've been talking about doing this one for a while, and I finally feel confident enough in my technique to demonstrate how I do it and how it works. I'm talking about long draw. Before I completely dive in, I want to leave this caveat with you. This is my way of doing long draw. There are other ways to do long draw, and some people will tell me, no, you're wrong, you're doing it wrong. If I can get my aim dialed in and it becomes second nature and muscle memory, it works. When I was trying to learn long draw, I kept getting a butterfly kiss, which is where the pouch comes across and scrapes your face. There was something I was missing, but every video I saw online where somebody was demonstrating long draw, nobody ever mentioned how to get rid of that. And then finally I posted it online somewhere and somebody said something about a little twist in the pouch. It'll get better. And it did get better, but it kept happening. And now I have found ways to, I won't say eliminate it, because you can make a mistake and still whack the you-know-what out of the side of your face and it hurts. But it's part of the pain. It's part of the growing pain. It's part of the process. And besides, it's a battle scar. So don't take what I'm telling you as the written word, the only way to do it, the best way to do it. I'm telling you my way to do it based on the information I was able to uncover, the information that some folks have told me in online interactions and in person when I was at the Midwest Spring Sling. I got some coaching on it. These are all techniques and things that I've put together. This is what works for me. Okay, so I'm just leaving that out there now. I'm not speaking the written word. I'm not the ultimate expert in this. I'm just telling you what works for me. Usually when you're starting out, you learn short draw, which means you're drawing back to somewhere on your face. You put an anchor point. Mine is right here for short draw. And then you just shoot like this. Well, long draw changes that a bit. Now we're talking like this, or some people with full butterfly, I don't think my bands go that far, they will stretch it all the way out. Why long draw? The reason a lot of people do it is because of the lighter draw for the same speed. Other people do it because they want total zip on their ammo. They want the hardest hit, the fastest speed possible. Absolutely okay. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to show you full butterfly, because the principles I've got for long draw, it's just a matter of stretching from here to here. Pretty much the same thing, other than one little thing you'll change with your pouch grip, which I can show you that. First thing is your anchor. Okay, in short draw, we anchor like this, where we find an anchor point on our face based on the size of our frame and how much up and down we need on the target to get us on target. Mine is right on the bottom of my cheekbone. This frame is the same size that I shoot short draw with, 90 millimeters, give or take a millimeter. So my anchor point, or some people call it when you're doing long draw, a reference point, will be the same. So when I pull it back for long draw, I'm going to pull it like this, and I'm going to actually touch my cheek ever so slightly right on the bottom of my cheekbone. That will get you right on target altitude wise. Okay, now there are, depending on the size of your frame, you may have to move it up and down. I'm going to show you frame in a little bit where I have to bring it up to here because it's a different kind of frame. All right, so that is the anchor. If you're shooting the same size frame as you are for short draw, your reference point or anchor where those bands touch your face will be right in the same spot, and that should put you on target. Okay, now the grip, the pouch grip. Just like in regular slingshot shooting, we're going to hold the ammo, not the pouch. The ammo, not the pouch. Now here's where I'm a little different. When I'm shooting short draw, I'm holding it like this. See how I've got it on the fleshy side of my finger there and my thumb? That's my bands are twisted, it doesn't matter. See how I've got it on the fleshy side of my finger there behind my first knuckle? That's how I hold it. That's for short draw. So I'm going to grip it now with my forefinger and my thumb, and when I grip it, I'm going to turn it this way, 90 degrees. That was the twist they were talking about. What that does is it puts a band on top, which helps keep it from hitting your frame as much. But you still get some frame hits that way. You still get some scratches on your face and butterfly kisses. So this is an advanced form of shooting, folks. You don't want to do this right away. This is not something you embrace right out the gate. You learn to shoot short draw and then you move up. Few people have gone straight to long draw, but they're a little crazy, if you ask me. Better to learn to shoot short draw because so many of the principles move up. And when you're shooting long draw, you have a lot less room for error. Having said that, when I'm shooting long draw, what I want to do is I want the ammo to fly away from my face a little bit and over the top of the frame. The reason is I also have this. It's called a pickle fork. It's a very narrow gap. There's a gapper in there, but it's a very small gap and very easy to hit your frame, okay? So that's why I want it to fly over the frame. Now, I could have one kind of draw for long draw on a regular slingshot, and I could have a second kind for the pickle fork, but now we've got three different techniques: short draw, long draw standard, and long draw pickle fork, that we got to remember in our head when we switch frames, that we've got to switch our technique. The way I'm showing you, you're going to learn with only two techniques, a short and a long draw. And that's all you got to learn. So the muscle memory is a lot easier. Confusion will be a lot less. So what I do, again, I'm holding the ammo right here, just like that. And I'm twisting it this way where my index finger is pointing out, my thumb is pointing towards me. And when I draw, I'm going to put a natural little tweak. When you learn short draw, we tell you don't tweak the ammo. That's what causes frame hits. Yeah, it does. In long draw, it actually helps because it puts more tension on your top band. It helps propel the ammo up and over your frame. What it will do is it will move your ammo a bit over whichever direction that is. If you're left-handed, it would be one way, and right-handed, it'll be another. But it will lift that ammo just the tiniest bit away from you. So you just adjust your aim by moving the bands of just the tiniest, almost a couple of hairs thick, this way or that way, to make that adjustment. What I've been working on is making it a habit that when I draw back on my long draw, I hold my ammo this way, and then when I draw back, my hand just naturally pulls it. I don't move my wrist, I don't move my fingers, nothing. So when I'm drawing back, you can see I don't move any of that. I'm just going to go. That was a bad shot because I wasn't paying attention. Just do that again. I'll try and do better. Okay, I'm going to grip my ammo. Whoops, there we go. I'm going to grip my ammo, and then when you watch, I'm going to start back here, and when I pull, it's going to automatically put that tweak in my pouch. See how it automatically puts that there? And that's what I want. So here we go again. Let's spend a little more time on this one. I'm going to touch my cheek just a hair high. I don't know if you could see me. I just tapped my cheek with the latex. Let me try that again. Got my hand in position. Tweak automatically happens. Boom. Hit the can dead on. So what I've done, because my ammo wants to go this way, and this can be hard to see on camera, but I'll do the best I can. So we were always taught that when we're aiming, we line our bands up till they become one. There we go. So now they're one, and that's our aiming line. So what I do is usually in short draw, I'm lining up the bands so that when I'm shooting down them, it's like I'm like right on the very top of my frames, or dead on with my fiber optic on the Slingshot. But what I do is I make it where, by habit, And by just muscle memory, I'm just pushing that band out just the tiniest bit, where instead of hiding the top of my frame, I can now see the top of my frame. It's hard to explain that because I can't show it to you really well. But that's what I do is when my aim, instead of going exactly straight down the bands, basically splitting the top of my frame where you could almost not see it, I now move the bands out just a tiny bit, which is going to push that shot back in. And that counteracts that tiniest little tweak that we're putting on our pouch. Now, one other thing, since we're talking about pouches before I take another shot, I don't know that this matters that much with long draw, but the folks that taught me said they use a trifold pouch tie. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like when you tie your pouch, you bring it over and then one comes over that instead of just going like that. That's what I do on my short draw. With the long draw, it's a trifold, so it partially folds over and then another one piece folds over on that. And then when you're shooting, that A or that V that's right there is out on both sides of the pouch. I don't know if you can see that there. See, it's out here and it's out here. So that's the trifold. Probably don't have to go there, but I was told that's how they do it. You know, I want to be like everybody else. So that's what I'm doing, and it works. All right, now this is an advanced style of shooting the long draw. Now what I want to show you is this new kind of fork that's really gaining popularity. This is the pickle fork I showed you earlier. Don't know why it's called a pickle fork, but PFS is what it's called. Pickle fork shooter. I just want to interrupt this video real quick. I want to make one correction because I feel like if I don't make the correction, somebody's going to call me out in the comments and say, you don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, in this video, I talk about this new Slingshot that I have, and I refer to it as a pickle fork. This is not indeed a true pickle fork. Pickle forks have a very narrow gap. I think the maximum you're allowed is 1/2 inch. That's what defines this as a pickle fork. There is a version of this Slingshot called the Piston that is a pickle fork. That's the main one. This is an iteration of it. They call it the Piston Gapper. So it shoots the same as a pickle fork, but I chose this just because in my practicing I was getting a few frame hits while I was learning, and I didn't want to mess up a custom Slingshot, so I got the Gapper. Figured that would give me a little bit more forgiveness when it comes to slight errors in my technique. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify, this is a hybrid version of a pickle fork. It doesn't have the narrow gap. It's called the Gapper. We will continue the video now, and I just wanted to make that clear so I don't get called out. And I put these little finger protectors on because on this one the bands tend to snap back at me and slap me a little bit in the fingers, so I'm trying to protect from that. Everything is the same. Here, I'm going to hold my pouch. This time, because the frame is smaller, it's going to make me shoot higher. I'm going to move my anchor point up and memorize a new anchor point pretty much on my cheekbone, solid on the top of it, or maybe a little higher than that. I'm going to do the same thing with the pouch, where this Slingshot, it's very important to have that tweak in the pouch, because if you don't, you're going to really destroy your frame bad. This is a brand new custom made frame, and I don't really want to beat it up yet. I want it to be nice for a couple weeks. The same exact thing. You hold it out, you put that little bit of tweak on it, and that tweak is going to send it flying. Aiming is the same. It's no different than the regular long draw. So what I've done is I've shown you how to shoot not only short draw, but long draw, and you only need 2 different techniques instead of 3. So this should simplify things. So here, let's try a couple shots with this one. Might be a little off on the first shot or 2 because I've got to solidify that anchor point or reference point up here on my cheekbone. See if I can hit that can. Okay, I'm going to hold it back here. Tweaks automatically happening. Move it up. Boom! I smacked her solid first shot. Oh yeah! I've just learned this. This is not for the faint of heart, because when you mess up, it can hurt because it'll hit your hand. That's why I'm telling you this is how I do it. Learn this technique. But what I would recommend when you're first starting out is don't put your optimum size bands on. Put a smaller taper. I'm shooting 2012. I think when I was first starting out, I shot 1810 or 1812, and I made the bands an inch and a half or so longer than I needed to have those bands, for the simple reason I didn't want that ammo ripping down there at full speed when I'm still learning. I made them a little bit looser so there's a little more forgiveness in there. It takes a little longer for it to go by. It's not going to be as fast, but it was plenty fast enough to shoot 10 meters at a target. So that worked really well for me. And then as you start getting more confident, snip off the ends of those bands, make it a little shorter until you get down to that real good shooting length. Trying to think, is there anything I left out? We talked about the pouches, talked about the grip or the pouch grip, how to tie the pouches, the length of your elastic. Well, we didn't really cover the length of the elastic. It's the same formula as the short draw. Measure from here, or where you're going to hold. Some people's long draw is like here. I like mine 90-degree angle. So measure from here out to here. Then you do the math based on your elongation factor, which I talk about in my Slingshot Basics playlist. If you're this far into slingshot shooting, you know that stuff. Then you do the math and figure it out. And once you know your length, you know how to cut your bands always to the same length. There wasn't a whole lot of crazy complicated technique, because a lot of what you already know from short draw translates over. The hard part that's different is the pouch grip, that little bitty tweak, and your reference point. I did promise to show you one other thing for butterfly that's full butterfly. What I'm doing is considered half butterfly. I just call it long draw. Full butterfly sounds cooler, but you know. Anyway, for full butterfly, you can't really hold the pouch the way I was holding it for full butterfly, because it's a very awkward hand position because you're way back here. So what you do is you hold the pouch this way, kind of pointing down a little bit. That way it's lined up better. See that? Instead of being here, you're doing it down here. I don't have ammo in here, so I can't grip it really good. That way, when you're pulled back and this arm is way back here, if it was like this and this arm's way back here, you're kind of like twisting your wrist around. This helps you get a better hold on that ammo. I will probably not be doing full butterfly, for the simple reason I have nerve damage on this holding finger from the knuckle down, and I don't have full feeling in that part of my finger. And whenever I try and hold the pouch that way, it's not secure. So I can still grip this way, but when I have to turn it, I'm losing some strength in there because I can't feel things as well. So I will probably not be doing full butterfly, but half butterfly or long draw, it's in my wheelhouse. And it's taken me probably 3 or 4 months of a little practice here and a little practice there to get confident enough that I can make this video and explain what I learned, the way I do it, and be able to show you competently that my technique works. Is this the best technique? There's plenty of long draw shooters that'll tell you don't tweak the pouch. There's plenty of long draw shooters that'll say tie your bands a different way. This is how I do it. So please don't go ripping me because you think your way is better. If your way is better, keep shooting that way and teach people that way. I'm trying to help people that might struggle with the process like I did, at least have some input, and then they can watch how other people do it and take what works for them from all those pieces. I just wanted to put my stuff out there. Why do we do long draw? As we mentioned, we can get the same ammo speed for less draw weight, or we can get more ammo speed for the same draw weight because we've got a lot more retraction. Those are the two big key benefits. But really, between you and me, The real reason to shoot full butterfly or to shoot long draw half butterfly, because it looks cool. And you'll look like, dude, that guy, how's he do that? It just looks cool. That was when I first saw it. It's like, oh, I got to learn that just because it looks cool. Didn't really need it, but now that I've learned to shoot it, I'm so glad I made the journey. So I hope you make this journey too. Make sure to like and subscribe underneath down there. We love having those comments as well. Let me know how your journey's going, and I hope this helps you. And get out there and shoot some long draw, people. Shoot some long draw. Give it a try. If not, keep killing it with the short draw. There's no shame in strictly shooting short draw. That was hard to say. Strictly shooting short draw. That was my own little tongue twister I just made up. There's no shame in it. But if you want to learn long draw, this is how I do it. I hope this has helped you. Thanks for watching, everybody. God bless, and keep on slinging, and we'll see you on the next episode.